Welcome to another exciting Should I Go video. Today I'm focusing on a little place in northern England called Liverpool. You know, the port city where four lads with mop tops changed music and the world forever. If you're a Beatles fan, this is the pilgrimage you've always dreamed of. I'm taking you there on the ultimate Beatles trip through the city of Liverpool, where it all began over 60 years ago. Have you been to Liverpool? Are you asking yourself, should I go? Don't worry, your mate Jake is here to lend a guiding hand. Here are the top 8 must-visit places in Liverpool for every Beatles fan. Kick off your Beatles journey at one of Liverpool's most photographed landmarks, the Beatles statue. Standing proudly at the city's historic waterfront, this stunning bronze sculpture captures John, Paul, George and Ringo walking together, just as they did on the road to stardom. Unveiled in 2015 to mark 50 years since the Beatles' final Liverpool show, this larger-than-life tribute is a must-see for every fan. Next up, dive deep into the Fab Four's legendary journey at the Beatles Story Museum at the Royal Albert Dock. This award-winning immersive experience is like stepping into a time machine, taking you from the band's humble beginnings to their meteoric rise to fame. See incredible memorabilia, like John Lennon's signature round glasses, George Harrison's first guitar, and the piano used to compose Imagine. The museum is filled with personal items, rare photos, and behind-the-scenes stories that even the biggest fans might not know. And the best part? You can walk through a life-size replica of the Cavern Club, feel the atmosphere of where it all began, with Beatles tunes filling the air. It's like going back to 1961, when 4 young lads were just beginning their journey to change music forever. With interactive exhibits, immersive storytelling, and so much to explore, the Beatles story is a must-visit stop for fans of all ages. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just discovering the magic of the Beatles, this museum is an unforgettable experience. All aboard the Magical Mystery Tour, Liverpool's most iconic Beatles sightseeing experience. Step onto this psychedelic Technicolor tour bus, inspired by the Beatles' 1967 film, and prepare for a 2-hour magical ride through the history of the Fab Four. Your journey takes you through the heart of Beatles history, stopping at some of the most legendary locations in Liverpool, like Penny Lane, with its famous barbershop and bus shelter, and Strawberry Field, the dreamy spot that inspired John Lennon's classic song. But the tour doesn't stop there. You'll cruise past the boyhood homes of John, Paul, George and Ringo, where some of the greatest songs in history were written. Listen to exclusive Beatles stories, hear behind-the-scenes facts, and sing along to your favorite Beatles hits as you roll through the streets of Liverpool. And the grand finale? The tour ends at the legendary Cavern Club, the very place where the Beatles played nearly 300 times before conquering the world. So, if you're ready for a magical journey through Beatles history, this is the ride you don't want to miss. Yes, Penny Lane is in your ears and in your eyes, and it's right here in Liverpool. This world-famous street became immortalized in the Beatles' 1967 hit single, and now you can walk through the very places that inspired the lyrics. First stop, the legendary barbershop. Yes, the very same one showing photographs of every head he's had the pleasure to know. It's still standing, a living piece of Beatles history. Then there's the bus shelter, a real Liverpool landmark where young John and Paul would wait for the bus. Today, it's a popular photo spot for Beatles fans from around the world. And don't forget the famous roundabout, where the banker never wears a Mac in the pouring rain. Very strange. Every corner of Penny Lane brings Beatles lyrics to life. Whether you're reliving the memories or discovering Beatles history for the first time, Penny Lane is an essential stop on any Beatles pilgrimage. So take a walk, hum the tune, and feel the magic of one of the most famous streets in music history. Next stop, the legendary Strawberry Field. This isn't just a song lyric. It was a real children's home where young John Lennon would often wander and play. The place held a special magic for him, inspiring the dreamy 1967 classic, Strawberry Fields Forever. As a boy, John used to climb over the walls to listen to the Salvation Army band playing inside the home's gardens. The memories of those carefree childhood days stuck with him and became the inspiration for one of the Beatles' most psychedelic and emotional songs. Today, Strawberry Field is more than just a historic site. It's an incredible visitor experience. Inside, you'll find a fascinating exhibition exploring John Lennon's connection to the place, rare Beatles memorabilia, and even an immersive virtual reality experience where you can step inside John's world. One of the most special parts of the visit, the tranquil gardens where you can walk in Lennon's footsteps and find a moment of peace, just like he did all those years ago. And before you leave, stop by the Strawberry Field Cafe for a cup of tea and soak in the magic of this unforgettable place. Ever wondered where Lennon and McCartney first started writing music together? These two humble homes, Mendips where John grew up, and 20 Forthlin Road where Paul spent his teenage years, are where some of the greatest songs in history were born. Inside Mendips, you'll step into John Lennon's childhood world, a modest home filled with original furnishings, his old bedroom, and the porch where Aunt Mimi would scold him for wasting time on music. But it was here, in this very house, that John first started dreaming of becoming a rock and roll star. And just a few miles away, 20 Forthlin Road was Paul McCartney's childhood home, where he and John spent countless hours writing and rehearsing. This is where songs like Love Me Do and I Saw Her Standing There first took shape, long before the world knew the Beatles. A visit here isn't just a tour, it's a step back in time to where the Beatles' story truly began. Every corner of these homes holds history, from the kitchen where Paul's dad would listen to them practice, to the tiny bedrooms where they scribbled down lyrics that changed music forever. The only way to go inside these homes is through an official National Trust tour, which gives you exclusive access to these legendary places. If you're a true Beatles fan, this is an absolute must-do experience. Before the Cavern Club, there was the Casbah Coffee Club, the true birthplace of the Beatles. This hidden underground gem is where the Quarrymen, the early version of the Beatles, first honed their sound before taking the world by storm. Back in 1959, Pete Best's mother, Mona Best, opened this club in her own basement, creating a space for Liverpool's youth to enjoy rock and roll without having to go to bars. John, Paul, George, and even Stuart Sutcliffe, the Beatles' first bassist, helped decorate the club, hand-painting stars, rainbows, and even a spiderweb ceiling, which you can still see today. The Beatles played some of their earliest gigs right here, long before the Cavern Club. This was their first real residency, performing night after night to early fans, some of whom had no idea they were witnessing history in the making. Visiting the Casbah Coffee Club feels like stepping into a time capsule, untouched since the early 60s, still oozing with authentic Beatles history. If you're a true fan, this is a place you absolutely have to see. And now we've saved the most legendary spot for last, the Cavern Club. This is where the Beatles played nearly 300 times, turning a small underground venue into the epicenter of Beatlemania. From 1961 to 1963, the Beatles rocked this stage regularly, drawing bigger and bigger crowds every time. It was here that Brian Epstein first saw them perform, leading to the record deal that changed everything. Though the original club was demolished in the 70s, today's Cavern Club has been lovingly rebuilt, using the original bricks, and remains a mecca for Beatles fans from all over the world. And it's not just the Beatles. Music legends like the Rolling Stones, Queen, and Elton John have all played here too. Today, the Cavern is still alive with live music every day, where fans can relive the magic of the 60s. So grab a drink, soak in the history, and dance where the Beatles once stood. Because no Beatles trip is complete without a visit to the Cavern Club. And that's your ultimate Beatles journey through Liverpool. From the childhood homes of John and Paul, to the psychedelic sights of Strawberry Field and Penny Lane, and ending where it all began, inside the legendary Cavern Club. Now we want to hear from you. Which spot would you visit first? Are you heading straight for Penny Lane, grabbing a drink at the Cavern Club, or maybe stepping inside the legendary homes of Lennon and McCartney? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget, if you love travel and music history, hit that like button, subscribe to Should I Go, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new exciting adventure. Thanks for watching and for helping me grow the channel. I really appreciate it. See you on the next trip. Cheers.